Hey there friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm here with a new layout for the Shimmerz education team. And don't forget, you can get a free paint with your next order over at shimmerzpaints.com if you mention my name in the comments section. So for this layout today, I was in the mood to just start from scratch. And what I mean by that is just pull out some white cardstock and make my own background or design from scratch and not use any pattern paper. And I wanted to use a variety of the original Shimmerz paints, and so that's what I've pulled out here. These already come mixed up, so there's liquid already in there. All you have to do is take your brush and stir it up and they're ready to go. And these paints have a really big shimmer. It's almost like little glitter chunks are in these paints, and when they dry they're super shimmery. So what I'm going to do is coat this entire sheet of cardstock with white gesso. This is just some cheap white cardstock from a stack of paper that I got from Walmart, so it is definitely not thick at all. So the gesso is going to sort of act as a barrier between the paint and the paper, and it's going to toughen it up a little bit, make it a little bit more sturdy, and it's going to allow me to add liquids and blend and you know, smudge the color around without it soaking straight through the paper. So what I kind of wanted to do here was take this entire sheet of cardstock and just basically color the whole thing in rainbow colors. And I don't use all of those colors that I've picked out there, but I do use several of them. That pink color there is one of the newer ones. It's called Pip Pip Cheerio. And take a look at this one. This is a color that I've had for a really long time, and if you saw there when I opened it, I showed you it's completely dried up. And I get questions a lot from Shimmerz fans and Shimmerz users, you know, can I still use this if I've had it a couple years and it's dried up? Absolutely. All you have to do is add some water, let it sit for a little bit, and then stir it up, and it's ready to go again. I've never had a paint like this that I have not been able to revive and continue to use. So definitely just add some water and it will work. This orange color is called Marigold, and it's a beautiful orangey golden yellowish color, more on the orange side. But I'm just using this on the plastic packaging here. I just have a sheet of, or a little bit that I've cut from some embellishments or something. I'm painting a little bit of it on the plastic, spritzing a little bit of water, and then just turning it over and smudging it down. There's no way that you can mess this up, because once this paper is full of color, I'm going to cut shapes out of it. And so this is a really good way to do messy mixed media, but still make it look neat, if that makes any sense. So I opened up another Shimmerz there, that green color, and it was dried up, and so I added some water to it. I'm just going to let it sit. This is a color that's a really pretty purple color. It's called Wisteria Lane. It's not too old. It's a newer color as well, last several months. And I'm just kind of adding color where the paper is still white, and maybe a little bit on top of another color that will blend well. So I went back into all my Shimmerz goodies and found a couple other different types of Shimmerz. These are some of the sprays. This is a Vibez, and it's called Mustard Seed. And it's a really pretty bright yellow. This is also a Vibez, and it's called Elfin Magic. I think this one came out around Christmas at some point. Very pretty bright green. I forgot to mention the blue color that I used. That was a Shimmerz called Peacock's Plume, and it is very, very pretty. It's a very bold turquoisey color. So, so pretty. And you know, all of these colors, you can lighten them up. You can darken them by adding more and more layers. You can really get a lot of different shades just from using one color. I just sprayed down some Coloringz Well Blue Me Down, which is a really pretty aqua. What color is that pink color? That is Spritz Ruby. Very deep pink. And I like when I mixed it with some of the orange, I got a little bit of a red tone there. But you can see here how gorgeous this is. I did add some splatters of one of the original Shimmerz colors called Christmas Cheer, and it is the most gorgeous gold ever. I'm going to use it again later. It's so, so pretty. So what happened was I let this whole thing dry completely, and then I ran it through my Cameo, and I cut a bunch of butterflies. I just filled the whole thing with butterflies, different sizes, different styles, and this is from a cut file by Paige Evans, and it's called Butterfly Background, and you can find all her cut files in the Silhouette store. And I've actually made a layout that's kind of similar to this, except it's got a lot more black in it. This one doesn't have a lot of black in it once it's all said and done. But what happened was I'd seen Paige create a layout with all of these stacked layered butterflies, and I fell in love with it, and I just had to scrap lift it and create my own. And I just was inspired to do something similar again today with these butterflies. And so here you can see that messy paper that I just created turns into these gorgeous, colorful butterflies. And it's so easy to do this. I mean, and you don't have to have a Silhouette Cameo to do this. You could punch shapes out of that paper. You could punch circles, you could punch hearts, you could punch banner shapes. I mean, you could fussy cut letters. I mean, there is just endless possibilities. But I love butterflies, and this is just so much fun. And all I'm doing here is starting with some of the bigger ones and then gluing down a medium-sized one and then a smaller one on top, and I'm adding just a little dab of glue in the middle so the wings will still be able to bend up, because to me, if we're gonna have butterflies on a page, I want their wings to come up so it looks like they're just fluttering around. And yeah, I really hope that you guys are inspired to try something like this. If you like doing mixed media, or if you want to try it, this is a great way to get started, because you can't mess this up. You just basically make a big colorful mess on a paper, and then you punch or cut little shapes out of it, and it's instantly pretty. I mean, look at all the color here, and it's even prettier up close. Later on, you can see in the pictures how pretty it all is up close and how shimmery it is. I did use a couple of Coloringz that don't have shimmer, but most of these are shimmery. So here's kind of what I want to do. I'm going to use this black and white picture. Surprise, another selfie of me and one of my kids. I love taking selfies with my girls. And I'm going to use black and white because I've got all this color going. I was going to say way too much color, but that doesn't exist, right? Too much color is a good thing. And I'm going to use a pink background. This is a piece of, I think it's called Tutti pink from Basil, and it's just textured cardstock. And I kind of wanted the butterflies over, kind of like you just saw there on the left hand side, kind of swooping in kind of an arc. And so this is going to be heavily on the left side of the paper. I do want to kind of jazz up the background a little bit, and so I'm going to add in some white gesso here, and I'm just smudging it down with my palette knife, using my hands to kind of blend it so it's kind of hazy. And then here's what I wanted to do. I pulled out a Dazzlerz. This is another Shimmerz product, and it's called Tutti Frutti, and it looks like icing. It is a shimmery texture paste. It's super smooth, and it's basically the same color as the cardstock. So what I wanted to do was kind of add a little bit of color to the background, and I'm going to blend some of that Pip Pip Cherry-O with the Tutti Frutti. And so I just dab a little bit of that dark pink on there. Since the Dazzlerz is still wet, it does not dry immediately. It takes a while. So I'm just going to blend it in with my palette knife and kind of just smudge it down. And it's going to give just this little hint of a darker pink color. And you can already see how shimmery and shiny the Dazzlerz is. Love it. And I love mixing and matching all of these different products because you get some really unique looks, and you don't have to use texture paste through a stencil. It's definitely wonderful for doing that, but in this case I'm just smudging it down, and it's going to add a lot of shine to my background, a lot of shimmer, and it's going to allow me to do what I'm doing right here, just sort of blend in some of this color. And it's just fun to play around and experiment and try different things. And I think it looks pretty. Now that Pip Pip Cherry-O is a gorgeous pink. If you are a hot pink fan, you need Pip Pip Cherry-O in your life because it's beautiful. So now all I'm going to do is add some splatters, see what I've got. I wanted some darker pink on the background since most of the pink in the butterflies is a little bit lighter. I wanted something kind of showing around the edges of the photo, and so I pulled out the Spritz Ruby again and just sprayed it directly onto the background, and then added a little bit of water, used my brush to kind of help it move around the page. And again, this is where the gesso comes in handy. If, you know, if you don't use gesso, you're not going to be able to spritz water on there and then let it run and drip like this, because it's going to soak right through. I mean, it's just paper. And the gesso is like a miracle worker because it just allows all the color to blend and smudge, and it's awesome. I sprayed a little bit of the mustard seed on there to give a little bit of a orangey tint. And I didn't want to do too much to the background because I want those butterflies to stand out. But you know me, I can't leave a background alone. I have to do something to the background because just, yeah, look how pretty that is. Seriously. Yeah. I could just look at the shimmery and the shiny all day long. I love it. So I'm going to attempt to put the butterflies back like I had them. Of course, you know, once you move little pieces around, it's hard to get them exactly like you had them. But it's interesting because the way the photo is, the way her head is tilted, it's going to fit right in the curve of that butterfly wing. And so I'm going to try to situate it so it's overlapped like that. So I've got the butterflies like I want them, and I'm going to very carefully add just a little line of glue behind the center of each butterfly. And I love the way they look kind of crooked, looks like they're flying around, they're overlapped. Then the single ones that I did not stack, I kind of separated over to the right, and then I stitched with my sewing machine little trails kind of where they flew from. And I also forgot to mention earlier that the butterfly stacks that I layered, after the glue dried, I did run each of those through my sewing machine. So the middle of each of those layers has a little bit of white stitching there. So they're definitely not going to fall apart. And I just love this cluster of butterflies. The colors make me so happy. And you saw how easy this was to make. It just takes time. I mean, you just have to be patient and let things dry. But it's so much fun to create the background and then watch the shapes just sort of appear out of it as you peel them off your mat or as you punch them out. And it just looks like this took a lot of effort, and it really was easy. And I love that. And I love how that butterfly wing curves around her head. I love when you can layer things on top of photos and it does not interfere with the photo or the faces or the important parts of your photo. So now, what I love about this kind of layout is the left side of it is full. Those butterflies have taken up that entire half of the page. So all the room I have left is just basically to the right of the photo. So now I'm going to figure out what to put there. And I don't want to put a lot because those butterflies are pretty much the star of this layout. So I went through my stash and I found these gorgeous gold glittery thickers from who knows how long I've had these. And I tried to pick a word. I didn't have any E's left. So I thought, well, I'm just going to go simple and I'm going to use the word this for now. And I put some hot pink thread underneath there for a pop of that hot pink. And I'm definitely going to glue down everything, even if it's a sticker, because whenever you use gesso, stickers tend to not stick. These are some more stickers from my stash. I've got some white puffy alphas there. I think those are from Freckled Fawn or Evilicious, I think Evilicious. So I'm going to add the word is in white. And then these are some pretty yellow Simple Stories. I think those are Snap. They usually come in like a pack of 8 sheets of different colors. And I'm going to make the word perfect because I had just the right amount of letters for that. And this is perfect. That's going to be my title. And I love mixing and matching colors and fonts. Again, I'm going to glue it all down. And I named it this title because I love these moments. And it is perfect for me. You know, nothing is perfect. But these moments when my daughters are in a good mood and I can, you know, wrap my arm around her and pull her close to me and she's laughing. And her eyes are closed a lot in our selfies because she's just like laughing and her head is thrown back, and that is a perfect moment. And so I was like, yep, that's going to be the title. So I pulled out a couple more little heart stickers. Those are also from a Simple Stories sticker sheet and they match perfectly. And then I'm going to add some green thread underneath this butterfly to the right of the title, just to add another pop of that green color since I've got a lot of that green going on in the butterflies. And then make sure everything is glued down. And what am I going to do? Oh yeah, I decided I did want a couple little bit more pops of black since my photo has some black in it. Very, very lightly, I'm going to add some splatters. That is Coloringz Just, what's it called? It's called Night Moves. I was going to say Just Move, but that's the name of a gem. Yeah, that's not the name of it. Night Moves, because it's dark. I added some lines for journaling, and then I used a black pen. And then the final thing I wanted to add for detail were some sequins. These are from my stash that I've gotten in the past from Spiegel Mom's Scraps. Excellent, excellent, gorgeous sequins. And I just add different color sequins to the middle of each of the butterflies for some extra detail. But that is the final layout. I love how this turned out. I hardly used anything, just 2 pieces of cardstock and a couple of random stickers from my stash. Yeah, I hope you guys try this. You know, use your punches. Just use your Cameo, your manual die cutting machine, whatever you have, but just pull out all the shimmers and coat an entire sheet of paper with all the colors that you love and make something out of it. You don't need a lot of pattern paper. I didn't even use pattern paper on this. You know, you just can make something just as beautiful from scratch using cardstock and shimmers, I think. And to me, the end result is so much better sometimes. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to list all the Shimmerz paints in the description box below that I used, and make sure you check out the blog because I'll have all the details written up there too. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a great day.